now the second part, question and answers and testimonies. Who would like to share with us some thoughts, some testimonies, some questions, what you have, please?
I think you're still recording.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
do you wish to record it or not?
Oh, you stop and start over. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you got it. Okay. What I'm going to do actually today, because I did this yesterday with translation into Polish, and it's material that absolutely is going to blow you away when you really understand it. It's going to help you build your business. So I'm going to go through some of this right now. And then in the meantime, if you have any questions and so forth, do it when we get through. I think one of the biggest thing, something I just recently evolved to, and I didn't realize how powerful this was. And that is, the fact is that people do not know the difference between a traditional business and network marketing. Okay. And once you understand this, it's just going to be amazing how much more easy it'll be for you to talk to people, you know, once they've gone through the 3 steps and you're trying to educate them and so forth. See, a traditional, all businesses have an overhead. People know what that traditional business, you have what they call brick and mortar in America. It's just building a building, or you got to rent a building or buy a building. And then you have employees and you've got payroll. You got to buy your material to sell in the business. So now you got employees, payroll, and so forth, inventories. Okay, that's a traditional business. In network marketing, we have overhead. All it is what you have to purchase from your company to get paid. Because the company, they deliver all the products to your customers, and all the people you have that get in bonus, they pay all your bonus checks. So, give you an example, I have a new person in my downline who it's only been maybe 3 weeks, and she heard me what I'm going to tell you right now, and she was so excited. She couldn't even sleep at night. This woman, she owned a traditional business, it was a construction company, had business government contracts, and she had 66 employees. Well, when she heard me say that I'll do 150 million this year, okay, and I've never ever had a secretary, just absolutely my partner Jeff, business over 500 employees. Okay, compare that. She said she would never get in it. Once she understood network marketing, she said she would never touch a traditional business, period. Folks, right now in America and all over the world, people are selling their, like they call it, the 401ks in America, their retirements. Okay, they're selling their stocks to buy groceries and to buy gas. Okay, it's got to the point now where like 80% of the people in America are living paycheck to paycheck, and now they're using their credit cards to buy gas and to buy groceries and things like that. Interest rate on credit cards are 26%. Okay, those people, they already know that when they retire, they're not going to have retirement because they're not going to have any money. It was on our news, they were talking about it, that people are going to be working till they're 92. So I want to give you a little, what I call a niche presentation. You're talking to someone who's like 5 to 6 years away from retirement. You don't have to let them know they're not going to have any money when they retire. They already know it. It's on our news every day. Okay. It's all over the world, same thing. Okay. So all you got to do is say to them, you know, if I could show you how you could have 2,000 to 5,000 a month coming in when you retire, would you be willing to see a presentation that will take less than 1 minute? Now, if you don't want to be direct with them and ask them if they ever thought, you know, think about that, you could say, do you know anybody that would like to have an extra 2,000 to 5,000 a month coming in? And they're gonna say, yeah, me, you know. Now, what I'm gonna tell you now would not have worked 10 years ago, because 10 years ago, people didn't have internet, they didn't have Facebook. So here's the little presentation. How long would it take you to find 10 of your peers that would like to have 2,000 to 5,000 a month coming to you when they retire, coming to them when they retire? You know what they're going to say? About as long as it would take me to get to my Facebook. Okay, so now with any marketing plan of any company in the world, what I'm going to tell you now will work. They sponsor 10 people who get 10. I mean, a lot of people do that in a month or two or less. Okay, when you get to the third level, that's 1,000. With most network marketing companies, they're already making 2,000 a month. You go to the next level, when it goes to 3,000, 100, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. You go to that next level, they're making over 5,000 a month. You go up one more level, they're making more money than they can spend. Okay. So now all you have to do is, explain to them that you're going to, they say they're interested. Let them know what I just did, explain to them the difference between traditional business and network marketing, because they don't know. They think it's selling, or if they're thinking about a traditional business, they couldn't begin to even afford to think about getting in one. But you can tell them about network marketing, because it's not, some companies are free to start up. So $100, $150, whatever it is, a very minimal amount. So anybody could do this, anybody. It's so simple. And again, we have the recording, and if you want to use the recording here to explain it to someone, that's what they're for. So it's real simple. Now, most of you read the book, and the book is being updated, and it was written over 36 years ago. And the book stopped at 5. In other words, once you have 5 active people, you didn't have time, to have another leg, because you're busy with the 5 helping them with their 25, helping them with the 125, and so forth. And of course, once you go 3 levels deep with 5, now you pretty much have the foundation built, and that at that point you can start business growing. But see, now, because of one word, time, because you have time, you can expand the base from 5 to 10. Okay, now let me give you an example of the time. Before we had the app and so forth, people would have sizzle sessions in a restaurant. Now, we went for a whole year in California where all the restaurants were closed, okay? But that didn't matter to us, because we're using Zoom now. The industry has evolved from sizzle sessions in a restaurant to Zoom. In the new of the book, that's all explained and corrected. See, before we had all this technology, people would have 3 to 15 people, say, at the sizzle session, coming 3 to 15 different directions, spending maybe 15 minutes to an hour to get there. You spend, say, an hour and a half at the sizzle session. Some people didn't get home till 10 o'clock at night. Well, the spouse is home taking care of the children, and I'll guarantee you, if you were doing that more than once a week, you were in trouble with your spouse. Okay. See, now I do 1 to 5 of these a day, anywhere from 1 person to where we have 13 today. When we first started doing this, we'd have upwards of 100 people on these sales session. And the reason we don't have that now is because everybody's got a recording of it, and they don't have to wait till next week to listen to it. But we do encourage people to come back, even though the first 25 minutes is absolutely within a 0.5% the same every week. And that's how people learn, from repetition. But then once we do that, we go into questions, answers, testimonies, and always there's something new that people learn when we do these things. So that's what happens with that. So once you have your 5 serious people, you get one more. Help them start duplicating, then help one more, get it out to 10. Now, you can do this after we hang up here. Take out a piece of paper and on one side, put down 5, 25, 125, 625, 3,125, 15,625, 78,125. That's what you get if you build an organization with 5. Now, on the next to it with room in between to write a number, put down 10 next to 5, and you'll see the difference is 5. But then when 10 get 10, that's 100 next to 25. The 25, you know, you can see the difference there. And then when 10 get 10, that's 100 next to 120. I'm getting mixed up here. 5 next to 5, the difference is 5. And when 5 get 5, it's 25 next to, where am I at here? 5, 25. Anyway, just do the multiple of 5 all the way up the line and see the difference. And I'll guarantee you that when you get to 6 levels deep, okay, with the 10, you have done in 2 to 5 years, but it took me 25 years to do. See, anybody can screw up and do something here. Okay. Now, one thing I want to also mention, so people can make it easy to explain to someone if they want to know, well, you know, what's the big deal? What's the difference between sales and network marketing? Well, when you are recruiting people to sell, it's like you are a sales manager. People are working for you. Don't do that. You sponsor and teach people to duplicate and go in depth. Okay. And when you do that, that's how you duplicate. And no selling at all. Okay. And when you're duplicating, that can also motivate your people. People ask me, you know, with 1 million people in your over 1 million in your downline, they're all in Europe, you know, basically 95% or more. I live in San Diego, and they say, how do you motivate them? And I say, I don't. I teach them how to motivate themselves. Okay. 2 ways. You read my book. I had a publisher in Australia said he read the book 10 times. Every time he read it, he learned something new. Okay. There's things in the book that will motivate you. But the thing that will really motivate you more than anything is when you duplicate. Now, why motivate you? You are sound asleep at night. Someone on your 3rd, 4th, 5th level, whatever, sign someone up while you're sleeping. You get up in the morning and you see all these, see this new person that signed up, and you are excited, folks. You are motivated. Now, when I get up and look at my, you know, first thing I do in the morning when I turn the computer on, see how many people coming in and so forth, not counting weekends. You know, I'm doing an average of 500. You know, last Friday, I had one day with 719 new people. Okay. It didn't start with 500. It started with 1. But every time a new person comes in, you're excited and motivated. Now, save your money on going to these motivational deals that you spend a lot of money for 2-3 day session from a motivational speaker who's not doing network marketing, never sponsored a person in network, never built a business in network marketing, but gosh, they're great motivators. They're so good that by the time you're through with the session, they've got you motivated to coming back for an advanced session, spending a lot more money. Okay. You don't have to do that, folks, because what I just taught you will motivate you more than anything, absolutely anything. So one of the things that once you really understand this, I like probably more than anything is the idea that once you have sponsored 10 people who are active, you can go the rest of your life and never sponsor another person ever. Because see, you got the 10 people to help, and then you're going to help the 100 that they bring in. And then you're gonna help the 1,000 they bring in, then the 10,000, 100,000. You never run out of people to help and support and build. So you're done looking for people. The people are recruiting people to sell. They can never, ever quit looking for people. Because the people they recruit, guaranteed, most of them won't even last a month because they don't want to sell. That's where that's at. So Adriana, what else was I talking about? Oh, when new people get started, this is kind of important. You're always asking, well, what's my number one recommendation? I tell them get a job, okay? Because there isn't a network marketing company in the world where you can make enough money to pay your mortgage payment, your car payment, pay all your bills, put food on the table, buy your gas. Can't do it, okay? So you need to get a job. You don't have to like the job because you have a light at the tunnel. You have a way out. And once you get 3 levels deep, you're on the verge of getting out of that job, okay? Now, there's 2 exceptions to getting a job. One, if you have a spouse that can support the family while you're doing the foundation. And the other one is if you have enough money in the bank to live uncomfortably while you're doing the foundation. So anyway, what else did I need to tell them about, Adriana? You're muted.
Yeah, I have only here the testimony from Sutter, and
Okay.
here he said something like that. Today, most of the companies and leaders promote personal sales volume. They even say that if you don't like to sell, they or you won't be able to develop a network marketing. We thank you for teaching us how to do MLM correctly. I don't know a leader in an industry who makes a growing residual for life like you have done, and we are very grateful for receiving your teachings.
Thank you for the testimony. For anyone new that might not have heard this, but we're in the biggest industry in the world, where the blind are leading the blind. People that don't have a clue how this industry works are teaching other people. Give you an example. When you're listening to a training thing on the phone or wherever from your company, somebody will get up and say, gosh, the first thing the new people need to do is make a list of 100 names. How many people have heard that? Okay, make your list of 100 names. Folks, that's what a sales manager tells a salesperson to do. Why do you need a list of 100 names to sponsor one person? Because what I've taught you here, anybody can do, because it has nothing to do with selling. Period. Nothing. Zero. Anybody can do it. So you help the person get their one and start going deep, and then all of a sudden another one will surface. And I tell people, if you really feel like you need a list of names, make a list of 5 names of 5 people you already know that you'd like to help them be able to go on a cruise with you next year. Okay, that's it, folks. You don't need a list of names. And these sales, I'm telling you, virtually every company in the industry is going down. Okay, even including, how many people know Amway? Everybody knows Amway. They're going down. Okay, I want to give you the history so you understand what's going on in the industry. Amway started by recruiting 500 people. Their entire company was built from 5 of those 500. They became the largest company in the world, over 7 billion in sales, okay, by recruiting people to sell. But it doesn't work. Our whole world has a bad feeling about network marketing. Why? Because everybody knows people that have failed in Amway. Because all these people, they don't stick around very long, they're gone. But the reason they became the #1 company in the world is that when they were the first company to go into all of the countries. I mean, all of them. So anybody in any of these countries that wanted to make extra money, they had no choice. I mean, that was the only way to make extra money. But now you see what's happening now. The reason I know they're going down is that about 10 months ago, we heard that they had laid off 900 people in their factory, okay? So why would you be laying off all the people that are making your products if you're going down? Okay, but this happened, like I already told you earlier, the whole industry is going down because they don't teach their people to duplicate, and now people get to the point where they're losing people fascinating at them, and they start jumping and taking people with them, and it's crazy. But we're gonna revolutionize the industry because we've got right now 10 different companies using my original app as a product. Okay, when companies start learning and understanding this, because remember, most companies are started by salespeople who think they're going to get rich starting a network marketing company. Okay, that's pretty much it. And when they see what we're doing and understand it, when I meet an owner of a company, okay, and get to know them a little bit, and I say to them, you know, how would you like to save $100,000 or more today? And they're gonna say, well, yeah, what is it? Fire your sales manager. You can't make it. He's killing your company. People don't want to sell. And as long as he keeps recruiting people to sell, the more he recruits, the quicker you're going to go down. That's all I do. It's true.
I have such a conclusion regarding our yesterday's meeting on our Polish Zoom, that everybody who are joining your teaching, your trainings, just think that you have to learn something. You have to participate in those trainings a lot of times to remember everything what you are saying. But in fact, the system of doing MLM that you are teaching is so simple. It's 3 steps, just saying the 45-second presentation, giving someone the book or audiobook or any recording, and then saying something about your company, something, not everything. And in fact, if people think that doing MLM is just sitting on trainings and listening and something will happen by itself, it's the wrong way, because you are doing MLM by practicing this in your life. I would like to ask you, each of you, how many people are you, did you ask today about owning your life? This is doing, if you have a person, one person a day, who you asked about what it would be if you will have your own life, you are doing MLM. Without this, you are not doing MLM. You are doing nothing, and doesn't help you, this training, for anything if you will not do this by yourself. Is it true?
No, it's so simple. That's, you know, and the thing is, like, for example, yeah, if your company has 50, 100 products and so forth, the people who are recruiting people to sell, they start telling them about all their hot products. Well, they do that, they're done, because those people think they got to learn about all these products. We just start them with just enough to satisfy their overhead. And then once they get excited about the products, then they start seeing about the different products and stuff. But all the stuff that you're learning here, it's all being recorded. Get the Zoom trainings and then have your person listen to the Zoom training. Start them with the first one. So when they listen to that, it's totally clear. It should be. Should be to a brain that we're not looking for salespeople and that anybody can do it. So simple.
Yeah.
Question.
Abdul Malik, you want something to tell? Yes, or are you raising your hand? Please unmute yourself. Where are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, my name is Abdul Malik Yunus Abakar Kabuga from Kano, Nigeria. I spent 2 years in network marketing following sales approach, which I learned from so many books written on network marketing, thinking that I was doing it right. But after I read Don Failla's On Your Life book, also known as Napkin Presentation or 45-second presentation that will change your life, I realized that all what I was doing is not network marketing, but sales. And I understand that network marketing is all about relationships, sponsoring, teaching, helping, and duplication. And I personally believe that the best gift I can give to my new champions or anyone that is ready to build wealth in network marketing is only a live book. Don Failla, Jebramoldi, Ediana, you play a vital role in my life and in my business life. And I can never, ever forget about you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for your testimony.
Thank you very
This is
much,
even-
Abdul Malik. I will make a recording especially for you with this kind of testimony. You will be able to share with it to your friends. Okay.
The thing I love about,
Thank you.
a couple things I love about Nigeria, I've never been there, but I know it's either the fourth or fifth largest country in the world by population. And I think everybody in Nigeria under 40 years old understands English. So when our new app comes out, can you imagine how much it would cost to send books all the way to Nigeria? I mean, we don't have to do that when the new app comes out. Everything's done on the computer, on the internet. Amazing. We're excited about that. We've had quite a few people. It's Abdul, right? We've had quite a few Nigerians that are, in fact, almost every one we're doing now, we're getting Nigerians on the Zoom training.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nigerians. Another country, the Philippines. Gosh, virtually everybody in the Philippines under 40 speaks English. Another big country. There's about 20 network marketing companies in Indonesia, and a lot of those people speak English. See, you can go on Google, like if you, depending on what country, like we have a lot of Polish people. So I taught the people how to sponsor if your company's in another country, how to do it. And I'll give you a little demonstration here. Let me just
Okay.
go here.
Don, there is a question, next one. What should I tell someone if they ask me, what business are you talking about? I told some persons it's network marketing, and they just end the conversation by sharing a bad experience they have had or someone they know have had. What's the best reply for such questions?
Yeah, well, first of all, I would explain to them what I taught you today, the difference between network marketing and a traditional business. And then I would tell him that the people that he talked to, they weren't in network marketing. Okay, they were doing sales. They weren't doing network marketing. Just explain the difference. But let me show you this here. This is really so simple. And what I'm going to show you here will work for any country in the world as long as your company is there. Okay. How many people? Oh, let me do it again. This is for Polish here. Let me start over again. How many Polish people are in America?
9.15 million, according to some information I found on Wikipedia.
You guys hear that? 9.15 million Polish people living in America.
You
Okay,
are
watch it.
occupied by Polish.
Polish. Yeah, let's speak Polish. Okay. Where do the Polish people live in America?
Everywhere.
Oh, they just print out a list of the cities like Chicago, LA, and whatever. So then you go back to Google and say ethnic publication for Polish people in America. And then you name the city. You can do it by city by city. So then you just run a little classified ad to that publication, or get a hold of the publication. And I'm in America, so I would, in fact, it doesn't matter because there's a reason why we do it. I would make sure they run the ad in English, even though it's a Polish publication. Okay, 2 reasons for that. First one is that Every language has a different font size, their lettering. So when people open up the paper, everything's in Polish, but mine's in English. The eye's going to go right to it. Everybody's going to see my ad, everybody, okay? And then the other reason I don't speak Polish. Now, what's going to happen is, say I get 10, 20, 30 people that respond to the ad. I want you to be aware that these people that are responding are not leads. Don't spend money buying leads. It's a waste of money. People get 2 people, hang up on them, they're already done, they're finished. Leads are expensive, it doesn't work. These are not leads, they're prospects. The difference is they've responded to an ad and got their attention and they're interested. So when you talk to them about owning your life and so forth, and then let them know by getting involved in the business that we have, which is network marketing. And then you can tell them somewhere along the way the difference between network marketing and traditional marketing. And it's a business that anybody can do. And see, the thing you're gonna like is if you have relatives or friends in Poland, you can go to Poland and it's 100% write-off because you're going there to talk to them about your business. You sponsor the people in Poland, and then how many people do they know in America? So then they can do the same thing. They can come to America and meet their relatives or friends or whatever. But what I just described there will work in any country. I'll give you an example. If your company, for example, was in Japan, okay? You call up Google and ask how many people in your country are from Japan. We do this here in America. Gosh, and it's a lot, okay? I mean, a lot. Can you imagine an ad in a Japanese publication in English? You know what the print looks like for Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, things like that? It's just huge. I had one person I was already running an ad in a Polish paper, and for 3 months, it cost them $24, okay? Because ethnic publications don't have a very large audience, so they don't charge that much. So once a person gets going, like with the Polish, say they do Chicago first, okay? And after Chicago, they do LA, but they know exactly which towns to look for to run their little ethnic publication. And then see, once you know how to do that, or you've done it, then you can pick any other country where your company is doing business. It's not going to work, obviously, if your company's not in the country. You got to go with one where your company is. But any questions on that or anything?
I would like to Don tell something for all of you, because I realized something very important, maybe for you too. As you know, on Facebook, there is a community of people from all over the world. And there are many of them, yes. Some of them really want to do something for themselves, just trying to develop some kind of businesses they are providing, they are advertising and so on. They are sometimes only they are on that platform and just sharing with some quotes or with some, I don't know, poor animals or children or something like that, okay? But can you imagine such a community or communities on different other platforms where people are joining to that communities in kind of purpose? Let's say this purpose will be developing their businesses, they're changing their lives, or some kind of very important purposes in their lives. And when you are joining in such a community, you find the right people, exactly the right people you want to find. You probably realize that some kind of platforms like that existing, yes? And can you imagine that you are joining such a community and you are sharing there the app of and the system of Don? Can you imagine how easy it could be to find the people, the right people over there, not looking for somebody that, I don't know, he wants something or not, maybe not, and I'm losing the time. And when I have such a community where everybody are thinking a little bit higher, let's say, then you are in the right place.
Okay, now, number one, you get in the community, I would not ever try to sponsor or talk about your company. You got to get to know the person and make a good connection with them and see, like, maybe they're already in a network marketing company. Okay, now, something you should know. To try to recruit someone who is already in another network marketing company, it's impossible to do it under three conditions, okay? If they're in Amway, if they're making a lot of money, okay, and they just got started. To try to recruit someone when they're in one of those three states would be like trying to have an affair with someone while they're on their honeymoon. You're wasting your time. Get to know the person, keep in touch with the person, watch for sign that the marriage is over. There's a divorce, okay? What's the divorce? Well, the company's late on sending out their products. The company is late on sending out their checks. All kinds of things could come up where the honeymoon's over and they're done. Now, you'll know if you keep in touch with them when they're done with that program, then you could approach them on what you're doing. But just to go into a community and try to recruit people in what you're doing, everybody thinks that the deal they're in is the hottest deal in town. So you're wasting your time.
Yeah, but
And
I'm talking, Don, about getting friends in such a communities than in Facebook, because this is the real difference between those kind of people and those. Yes.
Yeah, I know, but still, you got to make a connection.
Yeah,
with
of course.
Yeah, if you don't do that, yeah, you're wasting your time, really.
Yeah, it's not just sharing the information, but also friending. Or even friending and then sharing.
I think the biggest thing to get out of today's training and so forth is the fact that people do not know the difference between network marketing and a traditional business. Okay. And whatever they know about network marketing is not true. You know, it's because they don't know it's not selling, and you know, it's just, you know, you got to let them know where the difference is, and it's basically in the overhead, and that you don't have to sell. Question.
There is an answer to that question before about what business are you talking about, and Milan shared the information that tell them the relation management. It is the business relation management. Yeah, it's very smart. I like this one, haven't heard it before, sounds very professional. Yeah. Okay, so do you have any other question, or please write it in the chat, I will read it.
Hello there.
Milan, please.
Milan. I'm living in the Netherlands. I have a question. I'm already in another multi-level marketing business, but is the system of Own Your Life specifically just for the company that is attached to it, or can you use this?
It works for all the network marketing companies.
Okay, so you just can adjust it to your own company.
Yeah. The only thing, you know, we don't talk about on the Zoom trainings is we don't talk about any companies or any products, because, you know, the last thing I want is people think I'm using this to recruit people. Okay, because then if they do, they're going to quit telling their people to come. Why would I need this to recruit people when, you know, I'm averaging over 500 people a day already? I don't need them.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Thank
mean, my goal, my wife passed away, okay, I don't have it, at night I get bored and lonely, and, what else am I gonna do? So I'm
Mhm.
helping a lot of people, it gives me something to do.
True.
Oh, I know the one that I didn't tell you, got a few new people on it, well. They, when I travel around the world, which I've done, like people in Japan or wherever, okay? They're still guessing my age at between 62 and 63, okay? Well, in 2 days, I'm gonna be 84. People can't believe it. Okay, there's 3 reasons why I'm not aging. 1, I take good health products. 2, I exercise every day. And the biggest reason is I own my life. Now, how does that keep you from aging? Real simple. When you have time, money, and health, you do not have stress. And stress will age you faster than anything. And if you don't believe that, look at the American presidents after they've been in office for 6 months. So no stress, live longer, okay?
Don, what can
Well,
you what can you tell them about what is the most important part or thing in MLM? That mean, is it a really product or really marketing plan or something else?
Well, number one, most important thing is one word, it's called understand, because people don't understand it. Second most important word, once they understand it, is duplication, okay? If you remember that, so you always refer back to the building. You can't put up a building without doing the foundation, and that's duplication. Makes it simple to remember. So I'll tell you another thing about, my aging. I go to bed at 11 o'clock at night, and I go to sleep at midnight. Now, I do that because I like to watch the news for an hour, because that is morning in Ukraine, and I'm kind of like to keep track on what's going on over there. I set my alarm clock for 6 o'clock, but I virtually wake up every morning at 5:30. Okay. I've never in my life taken a nap. To me, a nap is when you go in your bed and sleep. Okay, but I will doze. For example, when I'm watching TV in the evening, especially after dinner, I'll be watching a program, then all of a sudden I'll wake up and realize I didn't see the last half. Okay, other than that, I don't think I sound like I'm 84. So it's funny. It's great.
There is a question, next one. How do you review a prospect after they have read or listened to the book? In my experience, many that requested for the audio still don't get the idea of the business. I usually tell them to listen again and they never return. Please correct me if I'm missing something.
No, they're missing something. And that's why, the one chapter about the gold, silver, and empty ships. Okay. See, you got to understand that when we use the own your life approach and someone is not interested, how much time did you take? 1 minute? When you go through all 3 steps, you're looking at 6 to 10 minutes max of your time. So big deal if they say no. It's their loss, because anybody everybody can, do the business if they just get in it and do it, because nobody wants to sell, and anybody can learn a 1-minute presentation. So it's no big deal to me if they say no. I feel sorry for the people that recruit people to sell and spend, days, weeks, and months, and then they get to know, and that's got to be devastating. So it's no big deal. Just consider them an empty ship and move on. Another thing too, when you're moving on and becoming successful, people are going to, if they're friends of you, these people, they're going to see you go on more vacations, buy a new car, get a new house. They're going to see all kinds of things. And even for women, they're going to even see when you get a new purse. Women are really, they like purses for some reason. When they see you all of a sudden walking around with a $500 or $1,000 purse, you know, they start wondering, gee, maybe I should find out what you're doing.
Yeah, Milan shared here a link to the video by Eric Worre, Rise of the Entrepreneur. Explains the difference between MLM and traditional business. If you would like to listen, enjoy, I guess.
Eric Worre is making a fortune on our industry, but not being in the industry. He was in it long time ago with a program, but you know, he got a divorce, married a Russian woman, and he started promoting himself, doing trainings, motivational trainings. Okay, if he really believed and understood it, I always say, well, why isn't he doing it? You know, that's, you know, when he quits doing those trainings, that's the end of his income, period. And his book, let me tell you, you read the book, he's got you for the first 3 months working 10 hours a day or something, you know? How are you going to do that when you got a job? I mean, yeah, you know, he's too much into sales for me.
But you tell Don that the most important motivation is your inner motivation when you see the duplication. So
Right.
what kind of motivation could have a person that don't have right now anyone under his in his downline, let's say, he's for the very beginning, and this kind of duplication is not visible right now. So from where he should find the motivation?
Adriana, let me ask, this is really a dumb question, okay?
Mhm.
If they understand what we're teaching and how simple it is, okay? How long is it going to take them to find one person? So as soon as they find that person,
Sometimes it is a very long time, because when they were selling all the time before, they have
Yeah,
to
I know.
change their
Well,
mind, and it's so difficult.
I know, but they got to get that out of their head, because once they get that one person and help them get one, then that motivation starts. And that could happen pretty quick. But
Mhm.
you know, bottom line, if they can't get one person in like in a week or two, I mean, they're probably an empty ship. Don't waste your time with the empty ships. I mean, a lot of people have a tendency to want to spend a lot of time helping them. But let me understand that when the ship sinks, you go down with it. Work with the people that are the gold ships. They're the ones that don't need it, support, but they're the ones that deserve it. You work with them, and people, when they first come in, hopefully there'll be at least the silver ship getting started. You can tell the difference by a new person, like they'll be calling you 2-3 times a day. They're so excited and stuff. And anyway, we got people on the call here that, you know, they're on, like, just getting started with my teachings, that are just been on several times already, you know, because they realize, you know, that we do talk about different things every time because of the different questions. So it's you know, that can motivate them too. Just being on these calls and hearing other people and so forth.
Okay. Any other questions, please?
I have question.
Please.
Because I was 30 years in a selling company, and how to stop talking. I have problem. I don't want to talk. Today I talk with Milan, and Milan say also, you say too much already. How to stop for talking if I am enthusiast?
Take a drink all the
Just
time.
gotta keep reminding. Oh, you just got to keep reminding yourself that the more you talk, the more they think they can't do what you're doing. And the more they're not going to have time.
How to
So,
stop?
yeah. So bottom line, you know, it's interesting. You know, I use this example. If you took and put 10 people in a room and 5 of them dressed, with suits and, really sharp looking like salespeople. And the other 5, just ordinary people in regular clothes and so forth like that. And you brought someone in that didn't know anything about network marketing and say, I want you to pick 5 people you'd like to start building your business with. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to pick all the salespeople. But guess who's going to be the ones that build the business? The ones that don't look like a salesperson. Because people say, gee, I can do that. I can be like that person. Some of the biggest distributors over the years I've ever met in network marketing, let me tell you, anybody look at them, you right away say, geez, if that guy can do it, I know I can do it. That's, again, goes back to, you talk too much and you're in trouble.
I know. I'm
I
trying.
see Milan. Milan, you want to say something? I see Milan smiling.
Yeah. No, because we had a call and then she was really enthusiastic. So she talked really a lot, and I was like, okay, just send me the invitation and I will be there.
But I have to learn to keep my mouth closed. I don't know how. Who?
Maybe by writing like a concept down. When you talk with somebody, only use these lines and nothing more.
Try to get them to come to these Zoom trainings so they're hearing it from someone else besides yourself that they shouldn't be talking.
How can we?
Sometimes, when you know somebody, they'll hear things different from you, even though it's the same thing as they're hearing from me. I mean, they just, they'll listen to somebody they don't know sometimes better than someone they know.
I think what you mentioned, Don, in this, or maybe the last one, is that you have to ask people what are their dreams. I think that's a really good
Oh,
one.
sure. Yeah. It's because what they want in life,
Mhm.
if they own their life, they can get whatever they want. They can get to their dreams.
Yeah.
I have a question. How can we approach, or what is the best way of approaching somebody that is completely new in that, approaching about having the great opportunity to listen you on that Zoom? How can you advertise yourself if you would like to invite somebody on the training with you?
First of all, because the system is so simple, and it only takes 1 minute and anybody can do it, and it has nothing to do with selling, they already know enough people they can talk to. They don't have to approach strangers or anything like that. That's like I said, right in the Zoom training, that that's all I'm going to talk about, talking to strangers, because you already know so many people that you can talk to once they, again, understand it has nothing to do with selling. Keep going back to that.
So when somebody is just insisted about what there is on that Zoom, why I should come and listen.
Okay. All I'm going to tell you is that the Zoom training will teach you the fastest way possible to build a business in network marketing. Okay, totally.
And this is all what we have to say, nothing more.
Yeah, that's all. And he starts asking a lot of questions and say, well, that's what the Zoom training is going to do. And answer all the questions.
The Zoom training is about appreciating my precious time. So I'm doing this very fast and easy. So you can learn this also.
Adriana, we don't need their time.
Yeah,
most
I
people
need my time for owning my life. What are you saying? I don't need time.
Let me tell you, most people, their commute is more than 30 minutes. They can listen to it while they're driving.
Yeah, okay.
We don't need their time.
Yeah, but when I'm just inviting someone, I just don't tell them a lot of information. I'm not talking a long way about what there is, who is done, and about the OYL life system, because it's wasting of my time. I just tell them, come and see, and you will hear. And if you don't have time, just listen to the recording, and that's all. And when you will understand that, or something will, some kind of lights will be blinking in your mind, come back to me, and then I will explain you a little bit more if you will would like to know something more. Yeah.
No, that's it, and so that's another thing about coming back, to these Zoom trainings, even though the first part's the same.
Mhm.
You hear different conversations and how to handle different things and so forth. And, it's just really, well, just like one that I should add on the tape, and that is when people say, well, how much money are you making? You've all seen that happen. Well, to say, well, gosh, would you ask somebody in medical school how much money they're making, or trying to become an architect, or whatever? Why don't you wait until they get out of school, then ask them. See, I'm in the school of network marketing. I've only been in it for 2 months. You want to know how much I'm making? Give me a break. Why don't you wait a couple of years, then ask me, and then you can realize you wasted 2 years to get started.
What should we tell to those people that were with us in some of MLMs in the past, and right now they're asking us, what are you doing? Because we are asking them firstly what they are doing, what they are, I don't know, what they are, what the dreams they have. And when they are asking us what we are doing, what should we tell them?
Just talking to people. See, like I'm getting people that on Facebook, for example. I'm meeting people there, and first thing I do when someone wants me to accept them as a friend and so forth, I just say, happy to have you as a friend. Are you doing network marketing? It's either yes or no. Okay. If it's no, I unfriend them and move on. If it's yes, I find out what company they're in, how many people you have. And then they might, a lot of these people already know who I am that are doing this. But if they don't, I just say to them, I am doing Zoom trainings on Wednesday, translated into Polish. I'm not even using the translator, I'm just saying Polish. And on Thursday in English, teaching the fastest way possible to build your business. If you'd like to attend, let me know. I'll send you a link, and you can save the link, because we use the same link every time. And you can invite as many people as you like. There's no limit. The training is neutral. I don't talk about any companies or products. And then I've been adding to that. Then after I send that, and I just say, I don't like assume that they know me or don't know me either way. But I do just write a little paragraph. I say, if you have people in your organization who do not know me, have them go to Google and type in Don Failla, Own Your Life. So then that'll bring them to where they can see that I'm an author, wrote the book and all this stuff like that. And just virtually all of them write back, send me the link. I think a lot of you here would recognize that that's how you're here.
But when somebody knows us as network marketers from the past, and they know that we did network marketing, maybe in the wrong way. Right now we meet together, and they are asking now, what are you doing? And what to tell them? We are doing network marketing and in another way, and this is the new way, and what?
Just do the apologetic approach with them. That's all you got to do. Is just say, gosh, remember when I got you in that program? I didn't know what I was doing. I'm in a program now, and I went to a training and learned the right way to do the business, and it has nothing to do with sales. And I was trying to get you to sell. So if you'd like to see what I'm doing now, I'll send you a link for a Zoom training. It's only 25, 30 minutes. And you can see the right way to do the business. Then you could have an opportunity of owning your life and having time, money, and health in 2 to 5 years. That's it. Just, just keep it simple.
Yeah, thank you. It's good that it's recorded. I do a little bit tutorial for you. You can repeat it very fast and learn by heart.
Man, we've been doing this so long, and Adriana asked the toughest questions.
But the question is very important for everybody. We know we are known as a crazy network marketers with products in hands, from the one product, from the second product, different MLMs, and we are doing business right now. Yes.
Well, see, one thing you got to remember, if you sell your products first, a lot of people think, well, I've got such a hot product, it's easy to demonstrate and so forth. That's great. It's easy for you to demonstrate, but if you start selling your products first, you might have a customer that'll be with you for a couple, 3 months or whatever, but they're not going to go out and recruit and sponsor people. I mean.
Okay, so that will be next question. All right, so when you are doing this in another way, how much are you earning?
Yeah, not much. If you're doing that, you might make a few $100 a month.
Is it profitable?
If you don't get to a foundation if you don't get to the foundation of putting up your building, you're just not going to be making much money at all.
All right. Oh, I see that some messages there are. Okay, it's okay to me to invite a prospect to the Zoom session before they read the book. Perhaps Don's story will inspire them, since Don already owns his life, and I don't yet. It might make more sense to them. Does this make sense?
Well, I personally think that it's more important for them to see the Zoom training before they look at the book or read the 5 chapters. Because then when they start reading, at least they're going to understand before they even start that we're not looking for salespeople. It has nothing to do with selling. Okay. That's the basic purpose of the Zoom training, to let them know that anybody can do the business. And then once they realize that, then they'll read. And like the new edition of the book, I might have mentioned earlier that people read the first chapter, they're going to want to finish the book that night. I mean, Jeff Grimaldi, he did the updating of the new book for me, and done an amazing job.
How can we change the word business? Because when you are talking business, we are doing business, blah, 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 and the business, and business. And in fact, the business approach is the second kind of doing MLM, and we are doing lifestyle. So is there any words that can be instead of the word business?
See, I understand that. But see, when people are using the business approach, it's the traditional business. They don't understand that network marketing is different. That's the problem. That's why we let them know, with the training here, the difference between a traditional business and a network marketing. It's a business, but it's not a traditional business. And just explain it to them. Or if you can't explain them, have them listen to the Zoom training.
I heard such a idea that for the very beginning, we are not doing business in MLM, we are just in projects. And then when we are earning a lot of money, then we have a business. What do you think about this?
They're never going to have a lot of deals if they don't do what we're teaching. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
That's crazy.
So we are better doing MLM than doing business, yes?
Yeah, you gotta do what I'm teaching, otherwise, lots of luck.
Oh, Thanks God that we have such a great teacher here. Okay, do you have any other questions? Because I don't see anything more. Maybe unmute yourself.
I'd just like to give a little testimony, going back to what Don says, to keep it simple, and also to address what Cassia was saying about how do you stop to talk. I think most of us in this kind of a business like people, and it's something we all have a potential to do this. And for me, I decided that I was going to choose to communicate with people at a time when I'm busy and they're busy. So coffee breaks at work and these things, just send a text that is relevant, if they're texting, or a WhatsApp, if it's a WhatsApp they use, referring to, have you ever thought what it'd be like if you owned your life? Meaning to have money, time, and health at a time in your life you can, to be able to do things that are important with the people that you love. And that kind of works, because I can text colleagues or friends, and they're not going to call me back and say, what is it? You just get a text back and to get some really interesting answers. Oh, I've never thought of that. I'd really like that. Whatever it is, but it limits the conversation. And I had two today, 2 coffee breaks, 2 very interesting replies, 2 people looking at the old material on the old app. So just pick a time when you haven't got time to talk and they haven't got time to talk, and just send them the stuff in the system.
Yeah, send them the Zoom training. They can listen to it while they're driving on their commute.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, thank you.
I have such a short story about my friend from the Zooms from Poland, and she's working in the bank, and she started to doing MLM in such a way, and had an idea to talk with a customer that is very rich one, is doing businesses and blah blah blah, and she just have a little bit chatting with him during the business conversation in the bank, and he was complaining about that he has a lot of money, he can go for holidays, however he has no time, and she asked him the right question. Yes, and then he said, wow, but what are you meaning about? Yes, so she said, all right, so when you will be going out from the bank, I will give you something to listen to read or something like that. Yes, so it was the lifestyle card. And she came to the back office, take the card, and when they were going down with the stairs together, she gave him the card, and he read it and said, all right, but what is it about? Yes, so okay, you are going right now on holidays. I will send you the link to some kind of recording or book. You will listen this, and then after your holidays, you can come back to me, and I will a little bit explain you what is it about. And after the next day, he is calling to her and saying something that I cannot wait till the end of my holidays. What is this? Please tell me now.
Is that the Polish gal that she's already sponsored someone in Poland?
Yes, she's right now in a selling company, in fact, because this company is selling cosmetics. So this is not MLM. However, she would like to do this in the correct way. So she started to do this in that way. And just thinking about all that people that have no time, maybe have money, but they really doesn't realize that they are and I don't know where, but not for sure they don't have their lives own. Yes.
Well, everybody, 80% of people in America right now need money. If they're all using their credit cards to buy their groceries and stuff.
But even even the richest one also have dreams. Yes, and they would like to have more money for that bigger dreams.
Yeah. Well, also some of those people, they like the idea of helping other people.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be, I'm gonna let you continue talking as long as you like, but I've got to go in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay? And we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week, and tell the people you're bringing in to come. You know, if they've been on the Zoom training, they're gonna learn something different every week. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it is.
So I'll
So
see you next.
thank
have a
you.
nice
Thank you
night.
very much. Don't have
Thank you.
Have a nice
a lot of
weekend.
fun on the wedding and your birthday. We are wishing you all the best. I guess
Okay.
that all of you are wishing Don also. So kisses for you and hugs for everybody, especially for Jessica and her future husband. Okay, please send them our wishes, greetings, and kisses. And see you next week. It will be last Zoom next week. Before the end of the year. The next Zooms will be in the new year. Okay? Thank you very much.
Sounds good. You guys, bye-bye.
Have a great birthday.
Thank
Have a
you.
great weekend.
Hasta luego. Bye bye.